Peace Chem family, I am BaNAuset KaNSekhmet, the naturopathic nurse for Kemetic Wellness Sacred Healing Center, and I'm back with another video. For those of you who are new to my channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the like button if you want to hear more of what we're going to be talking about on the topics of health and wellness. I am a registered nurse with a BSN RN, and I help people to achieve wellness through ancient African wisdom. Also, if you would like to work with me, go ahead and visit me on my website at kemeticwellness.com. Okay? So today we're going to be talking about low vibration foods. Now, if you haven't seen my last video on high vibration nutrition, go ahead and check it out. It's going to be up here somewhere. I'll link it. You definitely want to watch that video before you see this one, because this video is going to veggie back off of the information in that video. So today we're going to be talking about low vibration nutrition and whether or not your food is actually making you sick and depressed, which very likely it is, but no one has probably ever explained to you why. So I'm gonna break it down from a different perspective today. When I was growing up, I used to hear a lot, I eat to live, I don't live to eat. And that saying says a whole lot with just a few words. That's the purpose of your food. Actually, your food is meant to sustain life. Every single time that you eat, you are trying to get energy in order to continue to live, right? So if you are eating foods that are actually depleting your energy, which low vibration foods are, then it's kind of counterproductive. That is what low vibration foods are. They are foods with no energy, no life force, okay? No minerals, no nutrients, nothing that can give you energy to help you sustain your own life force and to continue living. In fact, these foods actually deplete your life force. Why? Because you are using your own energy to process or to digest the foods, and they're not giving you anything in return. There's nothing actually in the food that your body can take and assimilate, meaning make it a part of its own cells, take nutrients out of the food that now becomes a part of your cellular makeup and can sustain your own life. So when you consume them, they're giving you extra calories, which is where you get the term empty calories. These are foods that have calories in them, but they don't actually have any nutrients that your body can use for its metabolism, okay? The life force or the energy within all living things can be measured. It has been measured by biofrequency machines. And the human body in particular has a life force, or a healthy human body has a life force of between 62 to 72 hertz, or up to even 78 hertz. That's a healthy human body. Once the frequency of the body, the life force of the body begins to deplete below 58, you start to see cold and flu develop, and even disease begins to take form in the body, okay? Just at 58. When the frequency is lowered to 52 hertz, this is when certain viruses begin to take over the body, such as Epstein-Barr virus, okay? Even further below that, at a resonance of 42 hertz, that is when cancer begins to take over the body. So this is what happens when your body's frequency, or your energetic frequency, lowers and lowers and lowers and lowers. It becomes more and more susceptible to diseases of all kinds, and the more severe the disease, really, that's the lower your frequency is. Once your frequency is lowered to a point of about 25 hertz or so, death is imminent. Okay, so all of us who are living have a particular aura, and those of us who are healthy, if you've ever heard people say, you know, this person's aura took up the whole room, or they were shining, this is generally a person who has a very strong aura, a very high vibrational frequency. If you've ever seen a person who is very sick, almost on their deathbed, their frequency is about that little, you know, like a little buzz, you know, very, very low frequency. There are many things that you can do in your life that would lower your frequency to the point of illness and then eventually to death. But today we're going to focus specifically on the foods. So what are the low vibrational foods that lower your frequency? The first would be processed foods. So what do I mean by processed foods? These are foods that have been taken from their natural state and broken down to a point where it is no longer recognizable to the body. Meaning the body cannot get any information from that food in order to strengthen your own life force. Denatured foods include processed wheat foods such as white flour. So the wheat plant itself is a whole food. It has all of its life force once it is in the ground, and even still a lot of its life force once it is initially taken from the ground. However, once it is ground, it is broken down and processed to a point where it is totally white. Okay, it's originally a brown grain. Once it is broken down to the point that it is white, it no longer has any nutrients in it. So a lot of times we'll see enriched wheat flour or enriched flour, and we think that's a good thing, or we think that that's normal. It's actually not a good thing. What that means is that they have broken the food down to the point that it doesn't have anything, and in order for your body to even process it, it needs nutrients. And so in order for your body to not strip itself of the nutrients, they have added synthetic nutrients into it. So you'll see synthetic vitamin B12 and all of these other things in these enriched flour products. Okay, so you have white flour. Same thing with sugar. You have the natural sugar cane, which is you know, it's a natural healthy food if you just eat sugar cane. But once you break it down to get the granulated sugar out of it, and then break it down even further to where it is white, it's almost like a drug. And there have been studies, scientists have shown the correlation between sugar and even cocaine, that they're so similar in the way that they affect the brain. They're just one molecule off from each other. So it essentially becomes a drug. It's so denatured. Other foods that are extremely denatured foods, low vibrational processed foods, would be canned foods, artificial foods, GMO foods. For those of you who don't know what GMO is, it means genetically modified organisms, which means it has been altered at the DNA level. It's a lab creation, basically. Microwave foods. Generally, most packaged foods, especially those that are not labeled organic or non-GMO verified, they are all processed, denatured, low vibrational foods. You also have your stimulants and your depressants, such as coffee, sugar, energy drinks, alcohol, and a whole host of other drugs, different recreational drugs, as well as prescription drugs. These are chemicals that definitely lower the vibrational frequency of the body. Some of your drinks include sodas, energy drinks, tap water. Okay, there's a whole lot of different chemicals in the tap water. It's best for you to drink spring water or distilled water. You also have your artificial juices. I'm not gonna name any names, but these are typical box juices that probably say tropical punch and things like that on it. Just look at the labels. Anything that's artificial, these artificial fruit juices, these are all low vibrational foods. Then you have your animal discharge. And these foods come up at 0 hertz, meaning there is nothing in it. It's a totally dead food. There's nothing in it that's going to be able to give you more life. That includes animal's milk, any type of animal's milk, whether it's cow's milk or goat's milk, or anything with milk in it. So all dairy products, cheese especially. Cheese is basically mucus. Okay, cheese is mucus. It's pus. You also have yogurt. You also have lard and butter, as well as puddings and sauces and dressings that have dairy in it. You also have your cakes and your cookies and all of these other things that have dairy or animal discharge in the food. Even lower on that scale is dead flesh. And even though you can't get lower than 0, it's lower because of the potential for causing disease in the body. This would be dead flesh or animal flesh, and this is all types of animal flesh. Okay, so your chicken, beef, pork, seafood, meaning lobsters, shrimp, crabs, all of this stuff. Yes, I know I'm hurting a lot of feelings right now, but it is what it is. These are totally void of life. Okay, totally void of life. It doesn't have anything to give you. When you look at this on an energetic level, it becomes very, very obvious to you why these foods don't have any life to give you, or why they are so detrimental and disease causing to you. You have to think about the energy that the animals themselves are carrying, that you are now taking on once you consume them. So we know that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. So whatever energy these animals are carrying or holding, and you are consuming them, you are also consuming the energy of those animals. We, a lot of times, because we've reduced animals just to meat or to food, we don't understand that these are beings. They are spiritual beings, just like we are. They are spiritual beings. I know it may be hard for some of you to understand this, but the Most High Creator did not put animals here just to be your food. They have their own purpose, just like you have your own purpose living and breathing here in this existence, in this dimension that we're living in. They have their own purpose as well, and that is not just to be your food source. So when you take animals, which is what is done in this country, when you take animals and you put them in very small, for example, we'll talk about chickens. The way that chickens are housed in this country, they're housed in very, very small cages. Many chickens in very, very small cages. You have to think about the energy that is created within the minds of these animals when they live under conditions like that. They are kept in very filthy, dirty conditions. Most of the time, they are also injected with hormones in order for them to be able to grow quicker. Okay, you got to think about this. You got to think about how many chicken spots there are around the world. Okay, think about how many Popeyes, McDonald's, KFCs. Think about how many of these places there are around the world. There is not that many chickens. There's not that many chickens to go around. Okay, They are being produced in mass numbers. And so what they do is they essentially deform these animals. They allow them to grow bigger than their normal capacity. Some of them even collapse under their own weight, the weight of their bodies, which is not normal. If you think of a chicken, like, you know, if you've watched movies or you've been in natural environments where you've seen chickens, they're very fast animals. They run around. They're very quick, okay? These chickens that they house for the purpose of food, they can't move. They can't even take a couple of steps without moving because of the hormones that are in their bodies. You now take on those hormones. So when you see these little 9-year-old, 10-year-old girls who are having their periods early and who have breasts out to here, how much chicken they're eating? How much chicken are these young girls eating? Okay? That's not natural. It's not natural. Also, the antibiotics that are in these animals, you're taking them on as well. So when you get things such as the new super bug, the new penicillin or antibiotic resistant bug that comes out, okay? This is a natural thing that's going to happen when you are consuming animals on a regular basis who already have antibiotics in them. That means that when you're introduced to certain bacteria, certain pathogens, you're not going to be as immune to it as you normally would because you've been already taking these antibiotics. And so now you get these pathogens that are resistant to those antibiotics that, you know, you can't fight them off with the regular things because you've been taking them so much through your food, okay? On top of that, the emotions that these animals are going through, living in horrible conditions and being mistreated on a regular basis, you are also absorbing those emotions once you consume those animals. I've seen a video. If I can find the video, I will insert it. There's a video of a pig in a slaughterhouse, and they are walking this pig to its death. And the pig is squealing and crying. The pig knows it's about to die, okay? The pig knows that it's about to die. This is what you're consuming. Do you know that? This is what you're consuming. I'll hear a lot of people say, F cancer, you know, so-and-so in my family died from cancer, F cancer. But then you go and eat it. Do you know that that's what you're eating? You're actually eating the cancer. Like it didn't just come into your body for nothing. A lot of us don't understand that cancer, your body loves you so much that your body's going to do everything possible to protect you. And cancer is a protective mechanism for the body. Do you understand that? When there is so much of a toxin in the body, what it's going to do is encapsulate it in a tumor to protect the rest of the body. That's what your body is trying to do. This tumor didn't come from nowhere. It didn't just form in your body from nothing. Your body has encapsulated the toxins so as to separate it from the rest of the healthy tissue. In order for that tumor to grow, you have to feed it the things that are going to make it grow. And that includes everything that I've just talked about on this low vibrational food list. All of these low vibrational foods, they feed tumors. They feed cancer. They feed it. Okay? So your body is doing everything possible to protect you from these toxins, and you just keep giving it more. And so then these tumors grow and grow and grow and grow until they take over the rest of the healthy tissue. That's called metastasizing, okay? Where it spreads to the rest of the body. Your body is doing everything possible to keep you alive and healthy, but you have to help yourself. And I've said this before in other videos. People hate when I say this, but it is true. Sickness is a choice. You do have a choice. Unless you are somebody, I'm not talking about people who are born with particular illnesses, genetic conditions, things like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that you acquire in your life based on the decisions that you make every single day. And particularly those 3 decisions that you make at mealtime of what you're going to put in your body, what you're going to feed yourself. Every single time you eat, you're either feeding illness or you are feeding wellness. You are giving yourself life. Low vibrational foods are foods that deplete the body of life. It's that simple. And if you can make the shift in your mind to look at your food as, I am eating this in order to get energy so that I can live, and not just stay alive, but to live the best possible life I can live. Now, I showed you in the last video the chart of the emotional guidance scale, where there are certain emotions on a very, very high frequency, such as love, joy, peace, and then there are emotions on a very, very low frequency, such as depression, fear, guilt, so on and so forth. Okay? When you are consistently consuming foods that are on a very, very low vibration, you put yourself in alignment with those particular feelings. And so I have said this many, many times, that if you are experiencing depression, fear, anxiety, guilt, all of these very dark, low vibrational, low frequency emotions, the first thing that you can do to begin to raise your frequency, because we're just thinking in terms of energy right now, the first thing that you can do to raise your frequency is what you put into your mouth at your next meal. And I know a lot of times that's actually the opposite of what we're taught to do. You know, a lot of times we'll watch on TV emotional eating, like, you know, I had a bad day, so I got a whole tub of ice cream and ate it. You just made your day worse. You made your day worse. Okay? I cannot tell you how good I feel after I drink a smoothie or a green juice. I feel charged. I feel so totally charged. Every single detox that I do, every single cleanse that I do, I feel so good afterwards. I feel like I got the energy that I needed. So some of those foods, they may taste good in the moment. Some of those low vibrational foods, they taste good in the moment because they're giving your body a certain chemical reaction. Okay? However, once that reaction wears off, you're depleted. You're totally depleted. And the effect that it has on the body has left you in a worse state than you were before you consumed that food. So that's it for this video. I hope the information in this video was helpful to you. If you found it helpful, go ahead and hit the like button and share it with somebody who needs to hear this information. Share it on your social media platforms and go ahead and tag me. My tag is at Kemetic Wellness. You can find me on Instagram as well as Facebook. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, go ahead and visit my website at www.kemeticwellness.com. I will see you all in the next video. Peace.